Hi everyone, welcome back to Magic Language Learning with Hermione. Today's episode is about names in the world of Harry Potter and why many of them can't be translated easily into other languages. In the Harry Potter world, names are never just names. J.K. Rowling gave almost every character, creature, place, and even book author a name with a hidden meaning. Sometimes it's a joke, and sometimes it's mythology, and sometimes it's a clever clue about their fate. Of course, if we try to cover them all, we'd be here for hours. So in this video, we're breaking things down into 5 fun parts. Part 1. Character names and meaning. Part 2. Funny names of textbook authors. Part 3. Family names with symbolism. Part 4. Magical places, wordplay, and atmosphere. Part 5. Magical creatures, folklore, and puns. I picked 1 or 2 magical examples from each category to explore. So let's explore how Rowling used language and history to create a magical world, one name at a time. Across the 7 books, the students get a new defense against the dark arts teacher each year. Although the position is jinxed, each teacher's name has a hidden meaning, often hinting their personality, secrets, or even their fate. In this video, we'll focus on Gilderoy Lockhart. His first name, Gilderoy, reminds me of a famous idiom, to gild the lily. This phrase comes from Shakespeare. It means doing something extra to make something already beautiful even more beautiful, which is unnecessary and a bit silly. Let's break it down. To gild means to cover something with a thin layer of gold. A lily is a beautiful white flower, already perfect on its own. So if you gild the lily, you're overdoing it, like decorating something that doesn't need more decoration. And that describes Lockhart perfectly. Remember the Great Hall at Hogwarts? It already looked amazing, with golden plates, floating candles, and a magical ceiling that looked like the night sky. But on Valentine's Day, Lockhart added giant pink flowers all over the walls. Even worse, the ceiling kept dropping heart-shaped confetti. Let's just say he had a very unique sense of style. Now, let's talk about his last name, Lockhart. Hart and Hart are pronounced the same, so the name sounds like Lockhart. That's fitting, since Lockhart had a habit of trying to steal hearts wherever he went. In the film, the charming Gilderoy Lockhart captivated witches of all ages. Middle-aged witches like Molly Weasley openly admired him, blushing and fussing with their hair when he appeared at the Flourishing Bloods. Younger witches, including Hermione Granger and Susan Bowles, gazed at him with streaming eyes during his lessons. Want to hear something wild? According to the book, Lockhart got 46 Valentine's cards from his students. That's a lot of fans. Let's break it down with a little math. Given Lockhart received 46 cards, Harry shares the dorm with 4 boys, Ron, Dean, Seamus, and Neville. So there are 5 boys total. It's reasonable to assume there are about 5 girls per year in each house too. Hogwarts has 4 houses and 7-year levels, so that's 5 times 4 times 7 equals 140 girls in the whole school. To find the proportion, we divide the number of girls who send the cards by the total number of girls at Hogwarts. 46 divided by 140 is approximately 1/3. That means about 1 in every 3 witches sent Lockhart a Valentine's card. Now that's some serious charisma. Next, let's take a look at some of the textbook authors at Hogwarts. J.K. Rowling didn't stop at naming characters. She also had fun with the names of fictional writers of magical books. Their names are filled with puns, science words, and a touch of humor. Let's look at two of them and see how their names match the subjects they write about. First, there's a book called 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi by Phillida Spool. A spore is a tiny cell that fungi use to reproduce. Perfect name for someone who writes about plants and fungi in herbology. The word fungi is the plural form of fungus. It's an example of an irregular plural borrowed from Latin, much like many other terms commonly used in scientific and academic contexts. Let me show you two more similar examples. If you're studying in an English-speaking country, you've almost certainly come across the word syllabus. Every course typically begins with a syllabus, a plan that outlines what you will learn throughout the term. When talking about multiple courses, we use the Latin plural, syllabi. These syllabi together form the foundation of your academic journey. Then, once you graduate, you become an alumnus. Collectively, you and your classmates are called alumni of your graduating class. Next, we have the book Magical Draughts and Potions by Phineas Jigger. A jigger is a small measuring tool used for drinks, like when bartenders pour spirits. That's just right for someone who writes about magical liquids and potions. Before we move on, keep in mind that the word draught is spelled D-R-A-U-G-H-T in British English. But watch out, draught and drought look similar but mean very different things. A draught with an A means a liquid like a magical potion. A drought with an O means a long time with no rain. Here's an easy trick to remember. Draught has an A, so it has water. It's a liquid. Drought has no A and no water. It's dry. Now, let's dive into the names of wizarding families. Many of the most well-known families in the Harry Potter world are given names with deep symbolic meaning, often reflecting their values, heritage, or personality traits. Take the Black family, for example. Nearly all of their names are drawn from stars or constellations. And that's no accident. The Blacks are one of the oldest and most noble pureblood families, fiercely proud of their lineage and obsessed with blood purity, power, and social status. Let's start with Sirius Black. His name comes from Sirius, the brightest star in the night sky, often called the dog star, which is perfect since Sirius can transform into a large black dog as an animagus. His younger brother, Regulus Black, also has the name rich in meaning. Regulus is a bright star in the constellation Leo, the lion. Although Regulus was once loyal to Voldemort, he had a change of heart. In secret, he turned against Voldemort and sacrificed himself trying to destroy a Horcrux. A true brave act that shows he had more Gryffindor in him than anyone expected. Then there's Bellatrix Black. Her name comes from a star in the constellation Orion, and it means a female warrior in Latin. That fits her perfectly. Bellatrix is one of the most dangerous Death Eaters in the series. She used one of the unforgivable curses to torture Neville Longbottom's parents. She hurt them so badly that they lost their minds and could no longer take care of themselves. She showed no guilt, only pride. Let's move on to the magical places in the wizarding world, from the shadowy streets of Knockturn Alley to the warm chaos of the Weasley's Burrow. Each place name paints a vivid picture in our minds. Take Knockturn Alley, for example. Its pronunciation in British English is identical to nocturne, a term used to describe a type of music or painting that feels quiet, mysterious, and night-like. Think of Chopin's nocturnes with their soft, haunting melodies, or Whistler's painting, Nocturne in Black and Gold, which captures a dreamy night scene. The phrase nocturnal animal is used to describe animals like owls and bats, creatures that are active at night and sleep during the day. So, the name Nocturne Alley instantly evokes a feeling of darkness, secrecy, and hidden danger, a perfect fit for a place filled with shady shops, cursed objects, and suspicious characters. Now, let's visit the burrow, home to the Weasley family. In English, a burrow is a small tunnel or nest made by animals like rabbits. Warm, snug, and just a bit messy. It's the perfect name for the Weasleys' house, not fancy or well organized, but overflowing with love, laughter, and magic. As Harry once said, this is the best house I've ever been. Let's finish with one of the most beloved characters, Dobby the house elf. Where does his name come from? In British folklore, a Dobby is a type of household spirit, usually small, helpful, and sometimes a little mischievous. They will do chores for the families, much like Dobby does in the story. Some people also point out that Dobby sounds like Dobby in Hindi, a term for someone who washes clothes. But there's no direct evidence that J.K. Rowling intended this connection. It's an interesting possibility. All of those names show just how much meaning J.K. Rowling packed into her words. That's why I strongly recommend reading the original English version of Harry Potter, not just a translation. Many of the clever wordplays, idioms, and hidden meanings can get lost when the books are translated into other languages. And if you're a non-native speaker who struggles with the original, don't worry. I've created a special video where I go through the story line by line, explain every word, and use visuals and emotions to help you understand. You can find the link down below. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, how are those names translated in your language? Did they keep the hidden meanings or did something get lost? And as always, a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.